Oslo and the Magic of Norway is probably one of the most beautiful and classic Norwegian cruises, so for anybody who hasn't cruised before, it's actually the perfect cruise to recommend. From Harwich, we spend a day at sea before cruising to Oslo. The approach to Oslo is absolutely beautiful. You have about 4 hours cruising along a very attractive fjord, lots of islands where people live every day, seeing them going about their daily lives, right up to the head of the fjord where the Norwegian capital sits. Oslo is a wonderful city to explore, easily explored on foot, very, very beautiful, and there's some fascinating museums there as well. From Oslo we continue back along the fjord and cruise overnight to Kristiansund, which is on the southern Norwegian coastline. This part of the coastline is considered one of Norway's most beautiful. It's called Sørlandet, and from here there's an exciting steam train ride up into the Setesdalen valley, and also there's a cruise along this beautiful coastline amongst all these little islands with very many Norwegian holiday homes on them to a place called Lillesund, which is one of the most charming Norwegian towns. From Kristiansund we continue round to Stavanger, and the highlight of Stavanger is a cruise on the Lisa Fjord with the Pulpit Rock, which when you see these classic Norwegian photographs of people sat on a very, very towering rock with their feet dangling over the edge and a huge sheer drop beneath them, that's Pulpit Rock. But we'll actually be cruising on the fjord, and looking up to it is equally as spectacular. From here we continue round to Flom and Gudvangen, cruising in the Sonja Fjord, and it actually then branches off to the right where we stop at the little village of Flom. The highlight from Flom is of course the Flom Railway, or you can combine the Flom Railway with an overland journey which takes you then down Norway's steepest road. It's called Norway in a nutshell, and that ends in Gudvangen. Whilst people are doing that, Discovery will actually cruise from Flom back around the V-shaped fjord to the other side of the V to Gudvangen, and that's where people will actually re-embark Discovery after their overland journey. But the highlight of this particular part of the cruise is as you leave Gudvangen, you're cruising in Nerøy Fjord, which is one of 2 UNESCO listed fjords in Norway. It's the narrowest and the steepest fjord in Norway, and very, very spectacular for cruising. Leaving Gudvangen, we cruise back out of Sonja Fjord and we continue further up the Norwegian coastline to Ålesund. And Ålesund was completely destroyed by a fire. And when it was rebuilt in the Art Nouveau style, which was particularly popular at that time. And so people that go ashore in Ålesund will actually see a lot of wonderful architecture. It's very quirky, lots of gargoyles and very strange decoration, a lot of it relating to Nordic mythology on the buildings there. It's also the gateway to the Romsdal district, which is some of Norway's most spectacular scenery, and being a full day there, it means that we have the chance to get people out to see it in all its glory. And after Ålesund we continue south, and our final port of call is the very popular Bergen, where you've got the Hanseatic waterfront, which is always a favourite, the chance to take a funicular ride up to the top of Mount Floen, or to go out to the home of Edvard Grieg and enjoy a recital of Norway's most famous composer's music. And finally, leaving Bergen, we spend a day at sea before cruising back to terminate in Harwich.